What is up, guys? It's Ferns back here again with another SuperCoach video. This time it is the round 18 review. I know, super late in the week. In fact, I started work in less than an hour, so I got to churn this one out real quick and head on off to that. Yeah, super sorry this was late in the week. I guess once again my dog had the final follow-up surgery earlier this week on the Tuesday, so he was pretty groggy and didn't go on the SuperCoach hub because I was looking after him. So I always knew it was going to be a bit of a later one this week because of that. And then last night I actually planned on doing it, and my grandparents' dog passed away, which is really sad. Um, yeah, I know that might sound weird to be like, oh, you took the night off for that. Look, honestly, my grandparents moved into a home, and my parents slash sister had been looking after the dog. So yeah, I don't know. I know Dad was a bit distraught, and I guess the whole family was. So I went down and just like saw them, sort of thing. I mean, it is sad nevertheless. It makes me feel bad because my boy's doing so well, and he had his surgery, he came out, he's doing so well. Very happy with him, and doctors are vets very confident they got all the cancer, so they're very happy there, and he's very happy, healthy, and looking awesome. I'm very happy there, and yeah, this was just a really unfortunate thing on the other side, and nothing that can be done. It just happens, sort of thing. It was also an old boy. I think he was also, oh god, I don't even know how old they were. They were old though. I feel like close to 17. I say they because they had like three of those dogs. They had like three dogs, and then yeah, one of them is the one that my family took on. My uncle took the other two because technically they were his. He was living with my grandparents, and when they went to the home, he took them, and the third one, as I said, came with us. So yeah, just really unfortunate there. He was doing really well too. Apparently, just really happy and really energized. But yeah, just had cancer himself, and unfortunately, it is what it is. So yeah, so I ended up taking last night off when I saw the family, and I did plan on doing it last night, and then just things happened once again. I feel like I gotta stop. Man, you guys are gonna be like, I don't know if these are true anymore. You just keep blaming these life excuses and being like, dogs happen, and it's just, I swear, I swear, boys, it's just unfortunate. So yeah, I'm jumping in this morning to get it smashed out before the games, and I'm really sorry to everyone that it was so late again in the week. But looking forward to hopefully getting it done earlier in the week moving forward. As you can see, a little bit of a disappointing week from us. Went up 722 spots only. Put out a 22.73, lost some head-to-heads, which sucked. I played really risky and actually lost some head-to-heads that I probably shouldn't have because I played super risky for just my cash one. I know heads-to-heads don't really matter, but I threw away a fair bit of points, and we'll jump to the team and I'll show you what happened specifically. Okay, we're going to quickly reverse that shit. I don't really care if you see that shit because I'm not going to follow through with it now because Sexton's playing. But this is how the team actually looked, and yes, that's right, you're seeing it right there. I had Anderson VC into Nank, and that might seem really random, but you're probably thinking, what the hell? I didn't realize this when I was making the VCC move, but I had to make the call by 3/4 time for Anderson, and to be fair, I think they were technically 2 minutes into the 3/4 time. He was 98, and I still could have made that call if I wanted. Obviously 98, I thought he's heading towards a 125-ish. If he gets 125, I think Nank can get close enough to that it's not really relevant. But also in the cash league I was in, I'd basically lost if I accepted Anderson's score. It was one of those things where it's like I either roll the dice and hope Nank can go big here, and outscore Anderson by by a good 30 points or so, which to Hail Mary, it's unlikely it's going to happen, but it's like, or I just accept Anderson and just roll over. And I didn't really want to roll over. I know we don't play for leagues usually, but as you know, my total points score it's pretty shit. It sucks. It hasn't been a good season. So at least if I can keep the cash league alive, I will take an opportunity like this when it appears. Yeah, I lost 25 points. That sucks. But I gave myself a chance to win that head-to-head. So yeah, I mean, as I said, theoretically taking a 125 from Anderson, I lose. Where if I try and roll the dice with like a Nank 150, I can still potentially win. Very frustrating with Nank as well at the end because there's three situations that just he throws away points as well. He gets, I think, an intercept mark, which was like awesome. But then he does a kick and it just goes straight to the opposition. and you know that that's just like -4 instead of +4. If you just hit the target, it's +4. Misses the target, -4. So it's like an 8-point swing, and it's like boom, and you're just like, God damn it, Hank. And then straight after that gives away a free kick to Briggs, who I think goes back and kicks a goal. And you're like, God damn it, Nank. And then once again, like before the game ends, it gives away another free kick, I'm pretty sure, in the ruck. And you're like, Nank, bro, come on. So this was really, like, Nank left a 120 begging. So, like, this wasn't as bad as it should have looked. And that's what I thought in my head. I thought if Anderson's getting a 125, Nank will get close enough that, as it's not too relevant in the points we'd lose, but I think he has the upside to beat it. So I decided to roll the dice, and it didn't work out, which is unfortunate, but I gave myself an opportunity, to at least win a match. So that's why I made that move. But looking at the team, like, look, there was a lot of poor scores. Nick Martin stood up, which was awesome. Holmes had a good score, awesome. Anderson, great. They're all out. I mean, Holmes is a pod, Anderson's a pod, Uniac's a decent pod as well. They were all really good, so I was really happy with those. Nank was a big pod bringing him in. And I think the most annoying thing here is we brought in Mason Wood, and you guys are going to look at that and be like, what the fuck, Vern? Where did that come from? Well, we know there was carnage this week. We can see it right now with McGovern out, and that's what got me. McGovern was out, Gawn was out, Heaney was out, Sexton was out, Fisher was out. Obviously, there was more out than that, but those were the 5 in my team, and I didn't have cover for all 5. So I had to trade at least 1, apparently, and 2 if I wanted to, avoid Pink's score. Which, funny enough, Pink's score ended up being better than Kruger and 4 points less than Wood. So if I just took Pink's score, saved a trade, I would have lost 4 points, but saved a trade. And then I would have had Fisher, who is on the extended bench right now, so I don't even know if he would be playing, but yeah, a little bit painful there. I think what was more painful is I didn't even... I got distracted doing a Pink versus Dowling situation. I should have been running Pink into Caulfield. I should have had it like this, the emergency on Pink, and then when he got the 60, switched Caulfield with McGovern and bank an extra 26 points. If I did that, all of a sudden, I could take Anderson's VC and I would have won my head-to-head. So it was really frustrating in that sense that I did that, because I just didn't think. I just wasn't paying attention. I actually originally had Dowling in the midfield, and I didn't think there was a way I could get him down there, and I had Pink down here covering, and I was like, oh man, this really sucks. And right before the game, I realized, oh shit, wait, I can just do that and get Dowling on field rather than having to take Pink. And yeah, I realized that too late, and then because I only realized that too late, I didn't even think about switching Pink up and having a 50-50 with McGovern. 50-50 with Caulfield. So yeah, a little bit stupid by me, wasn't paying enough attention, made some mistakes, and I threw away a lot of points last week. So really hurt in that sense. Good 50 points down the drain. Also, Mason Wood, it could have been a lot of other people. I did consider Mackay and then decided against it. Obviously, that's more points. I mean, they're all hypotheticals. I threw a lot of points away. Plays didn't work out. I think Wood will still be good for the rest of the year. I think he's going to be very good at Marvel. It was a wet weather game, which isn't Wood's strength, and he had to rely on goals, which was kind of weird. Wood previously, it's he was scoring pretty well, and if he had goals, he was hitting big scores earlier in the season. I'm pretty sure if we jumped him, he had a massive start to the season. I even remember looking at him early on and being like, what the hell? Oh wait, he only had the 87 and then he got knocked out. But then he had 96, 109, low game, 113, 140. 64 is his second lowest score of the season, excluding the concussion game he had against us. And apparently the Sydney was the game before. So, I thought, honestly, looking at this, he was getting, I feel like these 80s and 90s, without goals, and then the 140s and 130, they're when he's kicking goals on top of it. So, yeah, I really thought we were in for a good game against Adelaide. I knew it was at Adelaide Oval. Didn't realize it was going to be so wet, so that was maybe a miscalculation. But I still think it'd be really good for the run home. I mean, he's got West Coast this week, who we dropped 140 on last time. A lot of, all Marvel games. Some of these opponents I think he can go really big on. So I think he'll be really good for the rest of the season, and overall a good total points player to have brought in. Just unfortunately not the week for it. I mean, I say not the week for it. It's if I waited an extra week and brought him in because he just dropped 30k, I could have saved 30k in the bank for the 2 extra trades I have. And only lost 4 points. But then what if I brought him in? I don't know. Look, either way, enough rambling about that. Yeah, I think Wooden is a fine play, and I think it will work out. It just kind of sucks it rolled the way it did. Now, obviously, Heaney is back, so we will be throwing Heaney down. What does suck is that we don't have any mid-forward DPP swing for rookies, meaning that we can't actually get Dowling down to have a look, because Sexton, I am a bit scared that he would be named as the emergency. Sorry, not the emergency, the sub. That would be very painful. I can technically run him like this, and then after that game, I have to be quick on it though, because the games are close together. I can move Pink, Dawson, and then get him on field for Kruger and take Sexton's score that way. So I can at least have a look at Sexton before I get in there. I would have loved to be able to do this with Dowling, but I can't, unfortunately, which really sucks. Reed last time against St Kilda really towed them up. Also, really disappointing. I held Reed through these, his bye and his 2-week suspension, so 3 weeks he had off, and then he's come back in pretty disappointing scores to get the 80. 80's all right. I don't mind that. The 76 I can also get over, but then the 63, that's a little bit disappointing. I want more than that from him. But they are coming in the Saints this week, and yeah, you saw 71 on Saints last time, but we know he was at 90 at halftime, and then he got the Windy tag. Windy is out injured. There is a chance that Reed could actually go big here, so I'm really praying for a big game from Reed. That would be sick. But yeah, I guess they're most of the pods I kind of had that I need to talk about. The rest of you guys, we own all these guys. We know they're commonly owned and they're good players, and there's not really much to say because it's they're commonly owned. They're not going to make a difference in total points. Everyone has them. This week, I guess the noticeable game, so I don't actually need to make a trade. The trade was only because I thought Sexton wasn't going to be named. He has been named. He might be the sub. If I do see he's the sub before the game starts, I will probably move him to Mackay. If I don't see it before the game starts, or if he gets subbed off and has a poor score, then we'll roll the dice with Kruger, I guess. Not happy about that, but I guess that's what we'd do. But yeah, hopefully he doesn't end up subbing. If he does, then we'll just jump on Mackay when we can. I mean, Mackay into North seems pretty delicious. Kind of a trade I kind of want to make irregardless of if Sexton's sub or not, because I think that's just going to be a lot more total points. But I also don't want to use trades that I maybe don't have to, especially in situations, still 5 weeks left and we have 2 injury trades. I'd hate for one of these rucks to go down again, or one of these big mids to go down. I want to be able to side with them. I say one of them, I mean 2 of them, because obviously we have 2 trades. I'd hate for 2 of them to go down, and I'm not able to side with because I've side with Sexton, who ends up playing the rest of the season, and maybe Mosey's on an 80, which would suck, but it's not the worst case. So that's why I think I'll hold him for now. But as I said, depends on if he's named or not this week. It's obviously named if he's sub or not this week. So yeah, coming into captains this week, I think there's a few important ones here. Obviously, Essendon at Marvel, Nick Martin could be a VC. Merritt, if you own him, very clear VC there. Obviously, I don't. Nick, good form there, but his role is so questionable that I just wouldn't take the risk on him. He relied on 4 goals to get to this 142, so I don't know about that. Next we have Marvel, St Kilda into West Coast. So if you have a Sinclair, that's pretty nice. Steele hasn't really shown the ceiling for a long time, and hey, I could risk it all with a Wood and hope for a Wood ceiling score, but I think this is the safer picks than that. Same with a Reed, or McGovern would have been nice to play this week, but he's not, so it is what it is. Okay, get out of the way, drivers. Collingwood into Hawthorn. Finn McGuinness was named, so he's probably tagging day cost. Yeah, no one I love here. If you have a day, I understand a day pick. That makes sense to me. I'm all for a day pick. Geelong into Dogs. Yeah, this could be a bonk game. Geelong kind of suck in the midfield, but it is a GMHBA, so I would prefer to almost VC a cat into a dog. Sorry, a cat rather than a dog. But they just don't have any good cats. And then I think the game that everyone's targeting, the game that's on everybody's mind here. I think Bonds, he's definitely going to be a good, at least C fullback, I would think. VC as well if you really want, but I think the only problem is they play at the same time as this Port Richmond game, and this is the game that I know everyone's eyeballing. Very obviously, Dan Houston into Richmond. Luke Ryan dropped a 190 on them. I'm pretty sure he had a big game on them earlier in the season, because did they play earlier? I feel like they did. 108. That's pretty sub. But Farrell's out of the team. I think that's Farrell is out of the team. That's the most important thing. The guy that splits kick-ins with Houston is out of the team. The other, what's it called? Defender. I forget the name, but he's designated kicker, out of defense, attacking defender. That's the word I wanted. He's out of the team, which means Houston Houston, 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 all the way. Yeah, I think Miles Bergman as well. If you got him in a cheeky draft league, could have a good week this week. He does a bit of that work from the attacking defender side as well when he comes down defensively off a wing. So, yeah, he should have a good week. Random note, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. Completely irrelevant. Don't know why I brought it up. But Houston, yeah, should have a pretty big week because of that. The other one, Zach Butters, obviously goes masses on the Tigers every single time. Drops like 130 minimum against them. He's the most safest captain VC option in this game. Yeah, the 175 last time, 158. Like, Jesus. If you're not putting the VC on Zach Butters, you're actually insane. You just have to. You just have to. Which is crazy, because then who are we going to afterwards? I mean, Sarong, if you have him into Melbourne, seems pretty good. I guess if you have a Walsh or a Carlton player, that's not bad. I mean, I don't. And then we only have the Brisbane players left, so I guess Dunks is really the other one. Maybe a Zorko for a bounce-back game, because he hasn't had a good one in a while. But I'd like to almost go for like a really random VC earlier in the week and then put it on Butters, but at the same time I would hate to like get like a 140 out of them and then Butters comes out with like a 160, which he very much could. So I think you just have to VC the guy you think is going to score the highest in the round, which is going to be Butters at the end of the day. We know it's going to be Butters. He's going to come out with a massive one. So we're going to put the VC there. It really leaves me with a Uniac or a Dunkley C after that. You would think that James Jordan goes, I think James Jordan got injured for some reason. But you think if any attention's going anywhere, it's going to Neil, who's been on fire, which means Dunkley should be fine to have a good game. Zorko's definitely been good at the Gabba, but as was pointed out, I think by Jason Popowski, was it that he's good at the Gabba or that his opponents at the Gabba have just been like easy kills? So he's looked good at the Gabba, but it's actually opponent based. Definitely could be a thing. So I think I might go see Dunk in a worst case scenario, but I think it's almost just a C Livingston. Like, just like straight up facts. It's probably just a C Livingston. You're probably just taking whatever Butter's getting here. He's probably getting a massive score. I guess, yeah, the only other person that I'd be happy to really go with beforehand would be a Nick Martin, but you just know Butters is going to go bonkers on them. You just know it. Why would I even roll the dice with Nick Martin? But I'm not really comfortable with anyone after Butters if he was to flop. But I'd hate taking a Nick Martin 120 and then Butters just burns me. Ah, God. Yeah, you just got to pick the player you think is going to score the most points this week. You just have to, yeah. Otherwise, I'm just going to be feeling so on edge the entire week until Butters' game. And then hoping that Butters does poorly because technically everyone owns him. And then it's like you're antipodying the captain. So you're more or less hoping he does poor rather than good. And I don't like the idea of doing that into Richmond. That just sounds like a stressful Saturday night. I'd much rather just sit back, relax, know I've got it on Butters and think easy. Lock it on in. And holy crap, I just realized Livingston is not going to work. That is not going to work at all. So I almost have to play Dawson on field because I need the VC loop. Oh, man. That's kind of frustrating in itself because Sexton has a bad game. I can switch him and Kruger. I can move him to defense, put him on field for Caulfield. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. We can just switch these two if need be and then put Kruger on field if Sexton goes bad. So that still works. It just means I have to take one of these bench scores if I want a Butters VC. And I won't know in advance because those games would have played in advance. Oh, wait, those games would have played in advance, so I can, swing them back and forth. Yeah, because I could never loop Caulfield with McGovern. It never worked. So I can technically only take one of them. Yeah, look, it is what it is. Fair enough. I mean, I can always technically do... No, I can't do that because he plays too early. Yeah, didn't realize that. Did not realize that. Yeah, so I can see which one does better and then field whichever one does better, which is probably going to be Sexton, but then I have to roll the dice with pink. Regardless of how Caulfield goes, and I kind of want the double chance up here. Guess I kind of just have to field him. I'm probably overcomplicating this for no reason. Maybe it's just VC Nick Martin to Butters, and then it makes the VC and then it just like makes this very easy. Like, let's not overcomplicate it. Let's just put the VC on Nick Martin into Butters, and then I don't have to roll the dice with these rookie covers for McGovern. Yeah, that looks better. Because after Nick Martin's game, I just make the decision, stick fat with Butters, which is probably the answer. And then I can have a look. So McGovern can't even VC with them. Am I just in the same position irregardless? I mean, technically I'm in the same position irregardless. That doesn't really matter because McGovern's on off field. Oh god, I'm being silly. Okay, let's just do this. Let's just VC Butters. C Dawson. I have a question. If I was to sub these guys, was it the change to C? No, it doesn't. Okay, that's good at least. Good to know, good to know. I know it seems weird doing this with Sexton, but I had this feeling he's going to be sub. Kruger had Gastro too, so he might be. I don't know. Either way, let's just leave it at that. Sorry, I'm rambling on, making this video way longer than it needs to be. That's what's going to be, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate all those that stayed to the end, especially through my fucking waffling. But till next time, guys, peace. Later.